Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm just making sure that the algorithm knows I still exist, and I want to follow up on one of my most popular videos, which was about the charging war when it comes to the price of charging for EVs. Now, sadly, there's good news and there's bad news. As always, there's always good and bad news. How do we do this? Let's start off with good news. Good news. It's the three main characters which I spoke about last time who are in the headlines again. First one being Arnold Clark. Now, I mentioned last time their quite unique selling point in the fact that they are allowing you to book their chargers, and that was their USP, that you could go and book a charger to make sure that you definitely had a charger and you just didn't turn up at a charging hub and not be able to charge your car. Well as doing that booking feature, they are also now allowing ad hoc or just turn up and pay as you go charging, still at the same 55p charging rate. Yes, that's not exactly the cheapest of the cheap, which we'll get into, but it is still a very good price compared to bigger brands. One of those bigger brands, sadly, is InstaVolt, who I praised last time for having an off-peak tariff. They still have an off-peak tariff, but sadly that has gone from 54 pence per kilowatt hour up to 60 pence per kilowatt hour off-peak. Their on-peak is still a pretty eye-watering 87 pence per kilowatt hour. So the good side of them is they are reliable. They are everywhere. Pretty much every single McDonald's I know of has now got at least 2 InstaVolts. So if you are going to go for a Mackey's one evening and you have an EV and it's after 8 p.m, plug it in, it's relatively cheap. That leaves me on to the main crux of the this week's update is BEV, or so BEV. They have had a little bit of a, how do we put this? It swings and roundabouts. Their peak price has gone up. It's bad news from that side of things, from 65p to 70. However, their off-peak has come down and they've started offering subscriptions. They're offering 2 subscriptions, a mini, which is $4.99 a month, and drops the price per kilowatt hour down to 49 pence per kilowatt hour, obliterating InstaVolt. But they also have a mega subscription, which is £9.99 a month, and drops it to 39 pence per kilowatt hour. Now, that's good. That is great. Moderately confusing, their off-peak brand without a subscription is also 39 pence per kilowatt hour, running for 12 hours a day from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m, which is amazing. And I've also spotted something cunning which BEV are doing. So they, unlike people like Ionity or Fastned, who offer subscriptions, they're not going for near motorway traffic. They're going for inner city traffic. So they are going aiming directly. I can see what they're doing. They are aiming for people who live in terraced housing, who don't have a driveway, who don't have the ability to charge at home. And I love this idea. I can see what you're doing, Bev. I love this idea. Great way of doing things, and you are going to get business doing this. They are primarily a northern based charging hub, but they are expanding very, very quickly through the Midlands and the south of England up into Scotland as well. So everybody soon will get the benefit of BEV's charging ethos and approach to this, which I absolutely love. When it comes to subscription, I feel like the need to sort of like throw some balance in there and show you what other prices are available. So Ionity, which I mentioned before, I use Ionity when I'm doing long distance commutes or I'm going to races. They have a very similar monthly price of for their main subscription, their biggest subscription, rather than being £9.99 like BV's Mega, is £10.50, and that's for 43 pence per kilowatt hour. But they are mainly at service stations. So again, service stations and village hotels. So that's great if you're traveling around on business or staying over at conferences or business. Perfect. They also have a slightly cheaper one, which I think is I think it's around £4.99. I'll correct myself. I'll put the prices up on screen, but that drops it down cheaper, but not quite as cheap. But yeah, there's also things like OVO. OVO, who are a energy supplier in the UK, also have their own charging app called OVO Charge. Used to be called Bonnet. I think I mentioned it in previous videos. OVO Charge, if you pay just £2 a month, you can get 10% off most charging locations, which is great when you charge through their app. And also there are random things. So places like, what's it called? Raw charging. Now, there are a couple of Raw branded chargers around me, and they, for £2 a month, you get access to Raw chargers at 52 pence per kilowatt hour, which is cheaper than Fastned, who I used to love. Fastned charge, is it £9.99 a month, and you only get 53 pence per kilowatt hour. So if you go to a Raw charger and you only pay £2 a month on OVO, you're winning compared to Fastned. Which subscription would I go for? Well, I'm keeping my own energy charge subscription, the most expensive one, the £10.50 one. I may well look into the BEV charging, because that is a great thing, and there are a number of those near me. Or I may not bother with subscription with BEV and just use their off-peak, because as I said, it's 12 hours, so half the day is at their really, really cheap price. So that's an amazing call from them. Hopefully others will follow suit, and we will see a price war. Thank you very much for watching this very, very short, very, very quick update, and I hope to speak to you soon. And there will be more challenges. I've been offered a challenge by one of my friends who works here at Bentley, who is also a YouTuber, and that will be coming shortly, but I'm going to keep quiet on what it is. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.